All right. Okay. Welcome to the stream. I am the Mr. Yours. We are playing some Evony, the King's Return. EMC, thank you for the sub. Thank you guys for stopping in. Hope you're doing well. If you're checking out this live stream, thank you for checking it out. If you're watching this video afterwards, thank you guys for watching. Yours truly, that's for sure. It's Mr. Yours truly. Today, we're going to be going over, hopefully heading into a call with Hyperion X from server 1155. And also Panda from our server, our R5 of SLT Slaughterhouse. What's poppin', man? What's going on, my brother? How you doing? How you doing, Mr. Imposter? What's good, man? What's up, Panda? How you doing, baby? I'm a little toasty right now, man. I'm a little fried, but we're gonna get this underway. Surprise stream day, you know? So originally we were supposed to be doing this interview with Hyperion tomorrow. But he had some things come up, so he said he'd be down for today, so hopefully we can get him in here shortly. That's my cousin. It's my cousin, man. So, I mean, there's a couple of things real quick I just wanted to kind of go over for somebody before we hop into the interview and just what happened during SVS. One of those things would be doing, you know, say you met a player that's going to be doing his first BOC and BOG. What would be the first things you would tell him, in your opinion? If you guys wanted to share what you guys would think, you know, just to keep it simple for your first time going in, what do you think they should look out for, and what do you think they should do, in a sense? And my opinion on that would just be, honestly, just go in to BOG. What's up, Arvin? How you doing? I'd go into BOG and just get familiar with the map. You know, check out the map, check out the layout. You know, understand where you spawn, where they spawn. Get used to the controls of seeing how many people are in at the time. Seeing how many players that you have, they have. Keeping an eye where, you know, your points are located at. And then you take the time to check out the buildings, you know. Get familiar where they are, so you already know where you're going to be clicking. And then also check out the details on those buildings and understand how it works. If people read the details, they would understand a lot better. Pick a place and stay there. Use your BOC and BOG as your training ground. I agree, and definitely pick a place and stay there, especially for your first few times going in there. I think that'd be a good idea. Yeah, there's a lot. Learning your march is gonna be huge. Your buffs, keep a reminder on your buffs. Get preset marches going. Be ready to ghost if you need to ghost. But I mean, ultimately, get familiar with that map and understand how each building affects you and your alliance in the enemy server, for sure. Don't go in there running around like a chicken with your head cut off, you know. Don't be doing that. That's unnecessary. It's very unnecessary. And I know from experience. That's for sure. I was a maniac. I didn't know it. I had to learn the hard way and how BOG and BOC worked. I didn't really have much guidance on that besides one player. You definitely got to learn how to rally too. That's for sure. I mean, like, your first day in there, don't worry about winning. And I mean, you know, everybody wants to win, but get to know your surroundings for sure. Get to know your surroundings. Get to know how the map works, and then, you know, go over the details later on. If you don't understand what each building does, you're not gonna really grasp the concept of each one, you know. And, you know, for BOG, you want to go in, you want to take care of monsters as well, you know. You guys can quickly rally the monsters together. That's some good points right there too. Or if you've got one player that can do it. How do I get to run these multiple accounts to join rallies? So I use something called BlueStacks. It's an emulator for like cell phone games. And under BlueStacks, you have the option, obviously, to run the accounts. You know, I have all different accounts here. And in my options, if you go over here on the right hand side, you'll see the synchronize button. Click on synchronize. And right now nothing's synchronized, so I can go ahead and just move around freely on this account or this account, whatever account I wanted to move freely on. But I have it set up so that way you go into synchronize, select all applications besides my rally leader, and I just start sync. By doing so, whatever I do on this one account right here is going to affect all the other accounts that I'm running. So it works out really well. It makes a lot of things easier. Especially running rallies, joining rallies. And then if you want to know how to download BlueStacks or the PC version of Evony, in the show more for the description of the video, in all of my videos, I have the links to download BlueStacks and the links to download the PC version for Evony. Evony PC version. Is it free? Yeah, it's free. So we need to reach out, see what's good at Hype. I mean, if you're able to run alt accounts, definitely do it. You know, take the time, set it up, and do it. It's worth it. I mean, I don't have that much resources right now. I've neglected these alts for like 2 weeks now, just because we've been focusing on other things. But I was averaging about 2 billion a week in each resource. Right now, I'm not hardly anywhere near my average. But I mean, that's when I get up in the morning, run rallies for 2 hours, and when I stream, I run rallies. Otherwise, these accounts just sit inactive and they don't grow. Yeah, it's definitely worth it. Look into it. And an important thing with that too, you know, in my opinion, if you can, set up an alt alliance. Just so that way, oops. So that way you have a place to put all these alts, you know. I mean, especially if you have an active alliance and you can't fit everyone's alts in there, set up an alt alliance, toss someone in there that can do some rallies, and you know, and get some farm, do some farming. It'll help you grow, help other members grow. You can help people after SVS fights, help you push to the next level on certain things. You know, we're a team, you know, you're in this together. You know, if you don't have each other's backs, it's gonna be really rough trying to grow as a team. Motivate each other to do well, encourage those to do better around you, to, you know, focus on bigger achievements and on growing, doing rallies, making alts. So I believe Panda, you available right now? Hype, you in here, buddy? Running multi-instance on your laptop's quite challenging. Is your laptop strong enough to handle it? You know, if you're having a problem running that, I'm not too sure if it should be. Hi, anyone know how server merge takes place? What are the criteria for the current players on server? So, I mean, I haven't been through one. I've talked to a few people that have, and basically, you know, whichever server has a higher score, so to speak, will be the main server, and the lower server will head on over to that server. All subordinate cities will be basically your map will copy and paste on top of their map, and all subcities will stay the same. Just make sure, you know, you got to get where you want to be and instantly put down your banner alliance banner. Sorry, I'm dyslexic. Oh, you're like, it's gonna copy and paste their server on top of theirs for subcities, so on and so forth. As soon as you get there, get everyone in Hive and toss up a banner and get that built as fast as you possibly can. I'm hoping my server gets merged soon. Honestly, I don't think it will anytime soon, but I'm hoping it does. Anyways, it would be nice. Panda, you in here, buddy? You ready to go? So a big shout out to server 1155 today. Great people. Some really good people on that server. And I gotta say, I give them props for, you know, putting up a good fight. Some of them hit like some Mack trucks. They did some good fighting this weekend. And I gotta say shout out to, you know, Hyperion, who's gonna be jumping into the stream here, joining us. Dude's a monster. He's a monster. This server's only been around since August. Now we're in December. But it's 4 months. The server's 4 months old. Guy's just an animal. 2.8 billion. 4-2. King of Generals. Server of Varus. Dragon Master. Nice keep. Nice power. Some good buffs. My laptop specs: Core i5, 500 SSD. Sold as well, but it runs very slow even at enabling. So you can always try, you know, inside of your settings for BlueStacks, right? Go into settings and you can go into here in the CPU allocation, reduce everything down as low as you possibly can, and see how that works. Could work out. It could work better for you if you already haven't done that, but you don't need every instance running max power. It's not like you're doing it for quality or anything like that, you know. So once Mr. Panda is ready to good to go, we're gonna get going on this. It's kind of late where I'm at. I think it's like 9:30. It's 9:30 right now. That's my bedtime. You can do three-way calls. Recommended settings as low as they can possibly get them. As low as you can possibly get them, so you can run more. You don't need anything special, you know. You just join rallies on them. You don't need the graphics or anything like that turned up. You can run everything at one core. Your server needs to be really dead to get merged. I mean, we're definitely not dead, but it would be nice to get some. Gotta get them research stones. Can. Wonder 2 took a lot of research stones. That's crazy about that. But yeah, let's give this gentleman a call right here and get going on this. Panda, if you're around, man, let me know when you're around. I'm pushing talk. Yeah, I don't want to talk at zero too much. I think you can do three-way calls. Hey man, how you doing? What population do you think it needs to be in order to get a server merge? Can you hear me okay? Hey, Impasta, have you thought about doing any more content? I'm in Discord call right now. I don't know if he might have a mic issue. How you doing, Jay, man? Thank you for stopping. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling alright, brother. Was not Larry? So Larry was working. Was not Larry. I'm very lost right now with what you're saying. Ton of pain, one-handed typing. Hyperion, yeah, we're in a Discord call right now. Let me see if I can add you up. How do I add you to a call? How do I three-way call you? Time does not present the option? Or do we have to head to the channel? Bum. Yeah, we'll do a Discord call real quick. Add a channel on Evony. Interview lobby. Do it. Let's do it. What's up, Mr. J? How you doing, baby?
What's cracking, my man?
Same shit, different day, brother.
I feel you on that. Hey, there's a little delay from when it comes through, I think, when I tell.
Yeah, no worries. No. So how you feeling, man? Recovery going okay though for the most part?
Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear, baby.
Yeah, the nerve blocker wore off. Feeling the Hey, Panda.
Hey, Jay.
But, the pain's there. They got me on some painkillers, but they ain't really working.
That's no good.
Yeah, those things never work, man.
What are you gonna do?
I know Hyperion said he's trying to get in. He's just having an audio issue right now.
No worries. I can't watch the stream and Discord at the same time for some reason. Oh, maybe I can.
It's all good if you can, man. No worries. So what are you guys' overall thoughts about our last SVS?
It was fun.
It was really good to see Jay and then Four come over too. I mean, everybody gave a pretty good helping hand there. Thoroughly enjoyed that.
Dude, it was amazing. Like, honestly, like, I was blown away. You know, like, I threw this plan together, like, all week. and I bugged Jay, and he was like, "Yo, man, I got plans. I was like, "Come on, Jay." And,
We need your assistant. And come on.
and
I had date night with the wife, so
Yeah, I can see how that could interfere.
he was like, after date night, he's like, "I'll come over."
yeah.
Thank you for that assistance, Jay, man.
That's to have the priority.
Yeah, gotta do date night no matter what, man. Over
Yeah.
game.
Always.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good
Yeah,
having
no,
everybody show
take
up.
care, date night. Remember that, guys. Family
It was,
first.
And I mean, there's like, this is the first time we done that. I spoke with men throughout the week. I don't know who asked for a stone through on Snow's account, but I was like, nah, I was like, we're gonna take it this time. And then he's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah. I was like, we could use your guys' help after. He's like, we'll reinforce stone, and when we're done, we'll come over, and he's like, well, we'll help you guys.
Yeah,
Like,
there was no way that we were gonna lose our throne, because if they had fought any resistance on our server, I would have been back over there in a heartbeat.
Yeah. And having you like going back and forth, like, it was like that was perfect with you
That teamwork was so nice,
not
guys.
joining us.
It was, chat. I wish you guys,
you
hopefully you didn't miss it. Go back and check it out.
And forth, and you can do your thing. And that was nice. We got Flash who came and joined us and sat around. He didn't get to do a whole lot, but he just kind of ghosted and sent reinforcements.
Flash is a good fighter, man. He's a good dude too. I want to get him stocked up. I'm trying to get him and Brick on this hammer plan I got for keeps. I was gonna do it to Mark's account when he quit because he gave me the account, but it would have been a shame to gut Mark's account, so we gave it to Perry. So Perry's running Mark's old account, and Roger has Perry's old account.
No kidding, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, give him time to build up, and get solid again, and
yeah, because last SVS, Perry took a pretty good hit, didn't he?
Perry goes out on a limb. He really goes for it for the server. So Perry took a thumping. I don't know if it was the last one or the one before, but everybody came together and got him back to speed. So that was good.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I like about our server. Like, I seen NBC, he was hurting. And I was like, yo, you good, man? I was like, you need anything? He's like, I'm okay. He's, he doesn't ask for anything either. And he's like, I'm okay. He's like, we just don't got anything to heal with. So I was like, dude, I instantly, I just sent him every gem I can send him. And then after SBS was over, I figured he might spend a little bit, get his troops back, but I didn't really see anything. And then, that's when I was like, asked, I was like, yo, can you just send this mail out, see if it works? And, if it works, it'd be something we could do for all the bigger players. Join in SBS and fight, because big players, they take a lot of damage. They use a lot of resources, source of life. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I burned through probably 10K source of life this SVS just from some of the hits they took. And
God,
I actually sent Evony
that's brutal.
because dude, it was sucking. I sent Evony a message. It was like, hey, this glitch that you guys have with the subgens is costing me resources because I'm getting no debuff. None of my subgens were going with, so none of my debuffs were good because I got a 600% negative on just siege attack alone. And so when I go in and they got a big siege presence in their keep, I'm getting thumped.
Yep. It was crazy too, because you were having that problem. And I was like, I'm not having that problem. And then I went and did a hit, and I know it's only sent two gens.
Yeah.
So that was the big thing. Was it was only sending the generals they decided to send, basically.
It was I don't know what was going to send, but it like some of my hits had none, some had two. I did the thing that Genghis said to do, which is take all of them off, put them back on, and they start extending. But then they stopped again. So I don't know what's going on with it. I'm hoping they fixed it with this new update. But
Did you have the problem
Yeah, I mean-
in BOC or BOG prior to SVS?
I did. I had it in BOG bad, and then BOC it was happening too. And in fact, BOC I didn't notice it was happening. I lost 8 straight attacks to a guy I should have been clearing the house. And I was like, how? You know, I just figured his T1 wall was getting me, which it very possibly could have been just that. Because you're right, the T1 sponge is nice when you got a good amount. But you know, it took a rally. Me and Perry and Dark Soul or whatever, Dark Side. The three of us got together and we rallied and we kind of took them all the way out. But I wasn't sending any of my subgens.
That's so strange.
Yeah, man. And you know what else is messed up is they when there's keeps, and if I'm a little scatterbrained, don't mind me. The pain meds do that to me. But when they do keeps in King's Cake on the level 10, they'll let you get 2 keeps if you do the cake twice, so you get both styles. They're not letting you do that with the Civ gear.
Any idea why?
I don't know. I sent Evony a message. I was like, listen, you know, you did it with the keeps. Why don't you do it with the Civ gear? Because I technically completed the cake twice to get that stupid castle from the anniversary thing.
Yeah, that's messed up. They usually have, you know, like 2 different.
All right, we got
colors,
'em in.
which are 2 different options.
Right.
And,
Hey, what's going on,
they're
Hyperion?
Like, oh, we got Hyperion in here.
He's in here. I'm wondering if you got his audio issue fixed. I hope.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you,
what's
man.
up, Hyperion?
I'm in.
Hey,
What's up, Jose?
just call me Hip.
What's up, Asta?
Make it easier.
Hip. All right.
If it is.
Hey, thanks for inviting me. This is pretty cool. You are light years ahead of us on technology usage in our server.
Hey, we're glad. We're happy to teach you, man. If you have any questions, man, definitely feel free to ask.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. I think you could. You know, I talked a little bit to both Mr. J and Panda, and where we are, we're relatively young. I think that was our 5th SVS.
How you guys doing, chat?
And we have a number of accounts that, you know, have grown with troops. And as much as we've tried to coach about generals and, you know, refining and research, some folks got it. You know, Hammer House, who was one of our, you know, most active players Saturday and Friday, who I have a lot of respect for, he's really come on strong and, you know, built a nice account and is getting better. And Easy Nola and a couple other guys, gals have really kind of improved. And then, you know, but there's a lot of accounts that just I think they need to set a goal of what their identity is, and then what they want to build to. You know, don't try to build there in a week, but you know, figure out where you want to be. And I think there's all of us are still kind of learning that what kind of account we want to be. So,
Well,
Yeah.
I could.
Go for
Yeah.
it.
Sorry. So, Hype. It's Jay.
Can you guys hear him?
One
Okay.
of the things that I know
What's up, Little?
when
How
I
you doing?
started finally getting growth, working my way to that point, was that I focused on defense first, making my keep be able to take hits from anybody. I mean, I was taking at K30, I was taking hits from K38s and turning them back, and it was because I looked forward to the future. And this is what I teach all my guys in GOS.
So Hyperion,
The goal is
there's
to
right now they're trying to work on
you're gonna be
their server
vulnerable.
growth itself
So
and
you
coming
have to
together
be
as
able to
one.
turn back a hit.
No one really has an
You gotta be able
identity,
to
as
absorb
you can
that.
tell by what he
Once the
said.
defense
So they're
is
trying
set,
to
then
get that going
determine,
right now.
based on while you're building that defense, determine what kind of attacker you're going to be. Because while I was building my defense, I was able to acquire and release and get her powered up. So I decided ground was going to be the main approach. and then range would be my backup so that I could clear mounts, so my ground could go in and clear the keeps.
Yeah, that I mean that's really a good way to put it in perspective. Uh, I joined our server a little later, I
How
think in
old is server
August.
1002?
Um,
Is there a way to
so I
check?
was a couple
I
of
didn't
months
start at the start date.
behind, and I kind of looked at, the generals, and I'm a infantry. I was a former infantryman, anyway, so precluded to ground. So I looked, and we didn't really have anybody ground, and so that was kind of my okay. I'm gonna see if I can get a lease. From attack perspective, I'm
Take
gonna
a look at
kind
his
of
report.
skip the. It seems like you get a good archer general pretty early if you're willing to buy a few packs. But defense is always, in any sport, if you have a good defense, that allows you then have go out on attacks and so on. And so I think that's a good way to put it and just, try to reemphasize it here. I'm interested, I'm a little late to the game and to the server. Like most of us have a story of 2 o'clock in the morning and saw the little running man, and all right, I'll go solve some puzzles, and the next thing you know, you're building farms and troops, and I don't know.
That is so true. That is so true.
That's about everybody.
All of us.
It's brilliant marketing, I think. But I played a game called Game of War 8 years ago. I don't know if you are familiar with that, but it is uncannily similar, down to the font size, the 4 troop types, gear, this, that, the other thing. I mean, it's 95% the same. But what I like, what Evony did is, previously at Game of War, if you got hit and zeroed, I mean, there was no soul survival. When I was playing, I think it came a little later on, and so you were truly zeroed. You had to face, okay, am I going to build another 30 million troops and X number of resources? And I think hopefully they took some of the good points of that game. And I think Machine Zone, who ran that game, ran it into the ground when they started doing the super packs. So you had players like
I never even heard of that game. Has anyone heard of that game?
For a year or so, year and a half, like me. And then they come out with these supersized packs that, within 10 packs, a player who's been there for 2 months now surpasses you with better gear, better whatever. And it just ruined the game. So I hope we don't go in that direction. But there was a lot of similarities between that and my approach to this and what I've tried to share. I like sharing, knowledge about the game. That's one of the many benefits, I think, of playing. And I'm sure it's for all you too, to help others learn and have an enjoyable experience.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm pretty. As you can tell, just from we work as a whole, we're not just single people.
Yeah,
I think that helps a lot.
that was very apparent, and it was easy to pick up on. And I think you had assigned, you were going to secure your server first, which typically I think everybody tries to do. And then, but at the same time, put pressure on ours or take it. And you guys jumped out of the gun very early and got there. My strength is usually in the enemy area. That's where I like to play and to and so I'm not usually we have a big server here that typically kind of takes the role of defending and fighting off, and the team that I'm a part of is usually cobbled together, and we just this rally under one set of tags, and then we go over and try to wreak havoc and pull some of the big folks back to defend their server. That's been kind of our strategy with, just the number of accounts that we have that can play in that part of the game of the server battle, and not unbubble and get immediately wiped out,
Yeah, that
in
could
one
be.
fell swoop,
I'm curious, did you guys do any sort of preparation, like before SVS started? Did you guys have a game plan, or even during SVS, did you guys ever come together and like have a set plan what you're gonna do, or do you guys kind of just?
We did, we I think that we completely understand the value of a good plan and adhering to it. A couple of our most experienced players just happened to be that weekend that they couldn't put as much time in, I think. And so in the execution of, a plan, we were not as effective at. And so we kind of had to audible, quickly. Um, what has it continues to kind of plague us is right out of the gate in every of the SVSs, we've fallen behind. It might be you catch one person and zero them, or we attack, targets out of our range, and that changes kind of you know, the battle calculus. If
Yeah. So it's like, so
if you
yeah, this is fun to hear. Sorry, I hate to cut you off, but
yeah.
like I think you're getting at is like you guys just pretty much came in and just kept attacking us, and he lost points. So you guys were kind of like, well, it's pretty much over now.
Yeah, yeah, I think at that point, and I had not, I
They were
didn't
negative a lot,
kind of
a
join
lot.
Friday night till I had
The
some
5 hour live stream, I
commitments,
went over that.
and so I joined a little bit later. And not that it would have made any difference earlier, but I, our game plan was actually, and it was never validated, so it was kind of a recommendation, and we realized we need to do this better. It's the benefit of doing the SVS is you want to get better. Um, it really, what I'd hoped we would do is sit and not do anything and watch and get your players frustrated because there was nobody to hit, and show discipline for the first 2-3 hours, and watch and see who's active, and then go after the temples and fight that fight, uh, and then kind of go back and into a defensive posture. And so I looked at it as kind of a guerrilla warfare. We knew you'd be very disciplined on bubbles. I don't think I saw anybody unbubbled. Um, you know, that
We have bubble discipline very well
wasn't
in our
purposely
server.
unbubbling for some reason. So that's a big credit, to the training and discipline that your server has, and working together. I think you guys set a pretty high bar of working across alliances and working together, and that's what we all want to do. We all want to get better at that. We've got there's really no animosity in the server. A lot of servers will have that rogue, or dominating, alliance that just kind of sets the rules for everybody. That's not the case.
We
It's
had
a
that in
very good
ours.
place
We
to
did.
engage. So, but yeah, we had a strategy. We didn't execute it, and then it became fighting from behind, and and then at some point on Saturday, as it evolved, I mean, I think you guys were surprised that we didn't go hard at the throne. Um, but if you looked, I mean, I think you had 14 million in our throne, total with reinforcements and a rally. And the group that was with me under Rising Phoenix, we couldn't muster more than 11 or 12 in a rally. So we were hoping some other folks would come back from family stuff and whatever. But not an excuse, but just kind of the reality. You fight the war with what you got, right? So, um, We tried to
Yeah,
pick a couple
honestly, I was
players.
more shocked. You guys didn't even try to rally once.
Yeah, yeah.
I
That's
was
more what
hoping
I
you.
was shocked about.
I, we probably could have mustered 10 million, maybe 11. And then what I like to do is to be the rally setter and kind of set for all three, and then watch and just let the time run, and then say go, and then fill the first two, and I'll launch one or the other, typically in the right sequence. I'm looking to see if you're changing your reinforcement, mix. In you really didn't have to, because we weren't aggressively chasing the throne. So, it, you know, it, it I'm all about,
Oh,
at that point,
I like this guy. He likes to talk. I like
think
that.
they kind of had to hold me back and just say, you know, as I'm trying to, Hammer and I and a few others were, and there were some small accounts that were, or, medium-sized accounts that were in there, trying to create some, you know,
yeah,
create some chaos.
we seen you guys
Yeah.
rally Diesel. I mean, you guys
Yeah.
took a pretty hard hit on rallying him. I think he cleared them, but I
Yeah.
think you guys took a pretty hard hit. And when I seen the report, I was like, right now, I think they're kind of stuck. And they don't got anybody to rally with. There's no chance they're going to even attempt it at this point.
Yeah.
And
That was we did a lot of scouting, like, which is typical, and trying to get you set rallies that we didn't execute. That's just part of kind of setting up
That's
what you're
smart.
going to do. And then we picked Diesel, and we were trying to sequence two separate rally leads to hit 1-2. And it worked out that I led with Archer, which is not my strength, that we cleared them. And so when the second rally hit, there was nobody left. That kind of surprised us, I think.
well, he was ghosted, or he had reinforcements, I think, in the throne, and he had reinforcements in others. And he was supposed to be ghosting and just let the rest of the troops that he can't ghost die. I mean, we wasn't worried about the points lost at this point in the game. So
yeah.
we're just like, if you just let them die and leave them dead, and you got your ghost march, because what we did, and this is the whole strategy. Like, I planned this all week. Like, as soon as
We had a lot of
I normally
preparation for
never
the
do this
server. A
either.
lot.
I don't.
And that's
normally
something that a
care
lot of teams should
what
pick
the
up
other server
on.
has.
Start preparations as soon as you
people
find out who you're
strong they are
facing.
or whatever. I normally don't check it, but this time I was just like, right away, went and made a county server, checked the general, checked the power of each alliance, and then I went back. I sent out a mail, said we're taking throne this week, and
Your plan came
planned it
together to the bro.
and I told him, I was like, that's why we had so many people there. I said, I want to fill it to the max. I was like, we went through your generals, everything. I was like, they'll be pretty close. If they rally us 2-3 times, they'll probably clear us out of throne. But what we had so many players there. I mean, we had 15 SLT members there the whole time.
Yeah, it was a strong contingent. You would have been able to, certainly, if we had taken the throne, we knew we couldn't hold it, right? I think, I was missing like that one.
I think this was a good
extra
lesson
big
for them,
player
though.
to
They
really
learned a
go
lot this
after the
SVS, and
throne.
we set the bar pretty high, like he said.
I
You
don't
really need a big
for
player.
How servers should be.
And like, we've done this many times. Like, we went against big servers, like outgunned like you guys were. And what it is like, because you are the big player, everybody goes off your buff. And if you're a rally setter, I mean, you could have K30 join in your rallies. And I mean, they're going off you, and you really just need the truth. You know, if you got two K35s with T14s, and they join your rallies, and everybody else just joins, that double rally will do so much damage to us. Where
Yeah.
you could have only had a second person just come in and clear it out what was left with a single hit. But what we had was everybody that was there is as soon as your first rally hit, somebody was dropping their ghost, and they were sending a march into the throne. So we would have had instant reinforcement as soon as you hit the first time.
Yeah, and that's a good. And I noticed that I think you assigned like Jay was going to be ground, and maybe Mr. Yours was archers. So each who was reigning and then would come back in would come with the same preset. That's a little easier than trying to design everybody come in with a balanced mix and then try to adjust it to what you're doing. That's one of the things we fool around with.
He both him Goss, and Jay was going to be the hitter. So every time you guys started to rally, and he did that to one of your players, right, Jay? He's still here?
Yeah, I got Icy.
He's there.
As soon as you started
Can you see my flat refines? You can.
Yeah.
They're not good.
Yeah.
You will not be impressed.
That was,
But yeah, check him out.
We took Diesel.
Where the hell did he go?
And cleared him with the first archer round. I thought it would, be close on the first one, and the second one clean him out. But then, the hit on Icy, and then you compare the two reports together, and it was like net 0. I said, okay, we left one of our own uncovered. We should have rained her, at least to give, she was ghosting, but there was, it's not going to help if you get all your rally participants wiped out, when you're, so that was a big eye opener. And I think when you capped your throne and then like 7 to 10 more, castles came over, that was kind of the point that we said, okay, we're just gonna, you got to take care of your troops, right? So at that point, I didn't want to waste anybody else's or get anybody zeroed, because we maybe could have took the throne one time. I knew we couldn't defend it for any length of time without having more folks to help with that and battle off and fight the
I think that's a smart move, though. Saving for the next one to come. Don't sacrifice for no reason.
Yeah. There's a point, and I listen to I try not to be a selfish player. If I'm gonna do something stupid, I'd rather just do it on my own, which I did.
I respect that.
Yeah.
No, I give you credit for it. I was like, he's really gonna try solo, and I was like, I knew it was gonna hurt, and I was like, man, but so we rallied Hammer House, and before that, Hammer's just chilling there and stuff, and hey, he's on a dinner date, with the girl and everything, and I'm like messaging. I was like, "Yo, you around?" Just waiting for him to reply and stuff. And he's like, "Oh, almost done." And then Jay's like, 2 minutes, And then Jay's like, "All right, I'm ready." I was like, "All right." So we set that rally, and Jay was supposed to come in and finish it with his ground hit. But then he ported, and Jay didn't get the hit.
Yeah.
But my plan was.
What was the timing of that? Was that when we were still around the throne, or was it on Sunday?
That was on the throne.
Because I haven't seen a report on it, so if I got him, I don't know. And if I didn't get him, I still don't know, because I never saw a report on it.
So somebody hit him after he ported. Like, if you go back and watch, like, the video, it's like 2 hours and 35 minutes, I think.
You're welcome, man. I'm still working on him,
He's still, like, just a little bit away from where he was. And then all of a sudden you see another hit come at him. I don't know if it was snow or what, but somebody solo hit him. So I thought it was Jay. And
I can go back and watch the video and see, but I mean, the game was glitching so hard when I was trying to speed my march. It just stayed, and I was like, okay, he's going to be gone by the time I get there. And then I never saw a report on it.
Yeah, I was having
dropped 400 more mil power from that hit. So
yeah,
whoever it was a strong player. So it had to have been either like NBC, Jay, because we already had Jay set up, and Coronum was still at Throne doing their thing. So I don't know who hit it. I haven't asked around yet, but I thought Jay did, and Jay said you can't find a report. Maybe
if it came from the top, it was me. Maybe the report just never came through because of glitching. I don't know.
I think the march didn't it come from the top?
So it came from the opposite side where we were.
Yeah, it came from the top. All right, so then my march hit him, and I just never got a report. Thanks, Evony. Awesome.
Yeah, you dropped 400 mil power on him. So, I mean, he was what 2.7. Then we dropped him 900, and then he dropped another 400 after that.
I will say though, Hype, you and Hammerhouse, you guys absorbed some nice hits. I couldn't take you down a notch. It wasn't doing anything for me. So I just decided when you were jumping around the throne, I was just going to play the cat and mouse game and see if I could catch you inside one of the towers, which I love playing that game.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a fun game.
Well, with Jay on Friday night, I think I asked you, I said, I've never seen anybody jump that fast. I was like, are you using hotkeys on BlueStacks? Because I'm pushing my finger through my iPad till it's bloody and I can't move it fast enough. And it was really frustrating. I would port or I would send, and I would 3 times hitting the speed, and you'd be gone. And I was like, I've never seen that move as quickly. And then by Saturday, it was no kidding a second from the time I would hit attack till the next screen would come, and I could hit a preset, and then the preset would come up. You automatically get like 2 generals, and something pops up when you hit attack, right? It's always kind of a mix or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like the Evony, the Evony choice, right? But then when you hit the preset, by the time the preset came up, it was loaded. That was a complete second. And I don't know if it's a cache thing in an iPad or I've got gig internet that was working, so but it was frustrating, right? And it seems like in the battlefield,
I think it's better to play on mobile.
The further you go into they just start getting the glitches, and yeah.
I don't experience that as much on mobile.
Yeah, and that's when you asked me that, Hype. I'm only on my iPhone for all that. What I do is I'll tell you the secret to those fast moves. As soon as you drop near me, I pick a spot to teleport, and I hit teleport, and where it says confirm, I leave it on that screen and I wait.
Yeah.
And as soon as I see attack red lines, because it also pops up is moving on your city or is scouting your city. As soon as I see the difference, I hit teleport and I'm gone. I'm out of the way before you can get me.
Yeah.
That's how I'm so fast at it. I'm preloaded of where I'm going to teleport before
Smart.
you ever send your attack.
Take notes. Take notes.
Yeah. I do that with like when someone's taking a tower or something, and I'm waiting for that march to come back, right? Like they go in and clear the tower and then they pull out, right? And so I'm assuming that it's more than one troop that they went and took a tower with, but sometimes it's not. And so, I'm waiting to hit port right next to them, and then I hit attack. And so, there's it's like that 1 second when your march isn't to you yet, you can't ghost it, And so I've been lucky a couple times, or I've timed it right.
1 sec, guys. Sorry.
And it's all kind of, there's some margin of error in there between what you're seeing, what I'm seeing. Who knows what how all that worked, but
And then you ended up catching me though. All right, you ended up catching me though. The when I was up above the temple. You caught me with those 3 hits, and I was just like, all right, you'll see what's going to happen here. I
like rolling the 3 solos. I I'm trying to get better. I'll set this. I only use the 60-minute alliance or 60-minute rally, and then I'll blow the gems. Because it'll sit there and I'll watch, and then I'll think about it, and then when I go and send the first, it's a couple of finger taps, and then I get back in and send the second, and send the third if I'm close enough, and then I'll start speeding them. I'll speed them in, it'd be nice if you could do, you had someone to control each march, and but you got to kind of do them one at a time. I tried to sequence in on you one time, and I sequenced in on, I don't know, it may have been you, Mr. Yours. It was somebody, and I thought by the time my ground hit, I would start clearing, and then I even lost with my cab coming in after. And I don't know if it was that magic moment when your buff dies, or the rally, or the march size drops down 700. That it hit, and I have to go back and look at the reports. But I was really surprised that out of three,
We're back.
I lost all of them. That's a rare.
Sorry about that, boys.
Oh,
it was me. You hit me 3 times in a row. Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad about that. I had 16 consecutive wins one week. It's without healing. So, dude, that's why I said earlier, like, my defense is Panda's got the next. Sorry, Panda, I'm going to sound a little braggy here. Panda's got the second best defense on the server, but mine is pretty hard to crack.
Yeah. I this is actually the first
1020.
time
What's up, gamer?
3 SVSs. Someone actually hit me.
Doing an interview with Hyperion from server
just,
1155, our last SVS opponent.
2.8 this week. I was like a 2.6, but I built a defense that I like, but I couldn't get anybody to hit me. They'd hit me on the throne, and when I was sitting on an enemy throne, they'd crush me all day. So, and from a tactics standpoint, I built a second. I use Marshall and Leo as my main pair.
Best combo by far.
Yeah.
Leonidas,
but then
Leo 3.
No, Leo 3. But then
Leonidas is my favorite.
Yeah, but
Leo's pretty good.
I use Leonidas, and I've been fiddling around with Dewey and Trajan as my throne holder, pair. So I have 2, and I go through all the pain of, the gear and all. Yeah.
Oh, that's rough. Doing the gear like that.
Your attack march. And that is not attack general. That is just general. And so, I instantly knew. I think I even tried to hit you once because I was like, that's a wall general. His buffs aren't going to be super strong. I think I've seen Trajan as a secondary, in a report, but see, there's things that we are a bit older server than you guys, and you're still kind of fresh to this game. You're pretty good at it and know how to build because you said it's pretty much like your other game. But we as let's say Jay, yours, you got Ash, there's me, a few other players like Snow and Ben and NBC. We can gauge, we know what you're sending. We see your general, we see your dragon, we see all that, and we know what's going in, and then we could counter it super fast. And I seen you're 2.7 billion power, and
he's a big boy. He's a big boy.
T1 Cavs. He was ghosting here and there on me whenever you poured around, and we seen Hammer House. I was like, yo, he's not a T1 Cav. Keep. So I was like, we could rally him, we could clear him out. And that was one way I strategized with the troops in the throne was, we have so many troops of certain type in the throne of each player, and then we have stronger, our range troops and all that stuff. So we could still rally players, and then Jay could come in with his ground. So, Jay got this crazy ground. The reports he showed me, his buff.
He's maniac, bro.
Crazy. Yeah, and So we're like, we're gonna hit these guys, and then Jay's gonna clear them. And then when I was like, all right, forget it. I was like, Stone's kind of boring. I was like, and then you disappeared. You disappeared, and I was like, Hyperion comes back out. We're gonna rally him. And he never
Yeah.
came back out.
Yeah,
Nope.
I went and watched the Army Navy football games. So I said, look, if that wasn't on, I would have probably, you guys would have zeroed me because I would have done some, I would have been trying to, okay, how many rallies can I take? 1, 2, 3, gone, and I'm done. So thankfully, I watched the game. It was played earlier today, but I watched it. So that saved me probably a couple of weeks of rebuilding. But here's a question for you. We're at this point. We have a fair amount of players that are now getting above 100 million to 300-400 million. There's some that are in range of K30. It's pretty easy to pick up on a T1 cav trap, right? And to do that, you got to have the right gear, you got to have the right general to make it work and all that, right? That's not realistic for a player who's in
It's
that
not
100
every
million.
player.
Yeah.
So like,
So what's the advice you'd
Mr.
give?
Yours is a T1 player, and
It's
he
fun.
would know. Yeah, he loves it. He don't even hit people. He just takes hits.
Yeah, that's all my SP points came from. Just taking hits.
So, Hype, what's the question?
Yeah, so without going to, what's a good build for 100 million to 500-600 million player, to be able to take a solo,
Academia
maybe they take a full rally with,
K33 Academia gear, some range, quite a bit of range debuffs.
Yeah. So it's gotta have the arc gear, which means you got to be out there. This is something
where I say.
I mean, you definitely you want to get your arc gear. 100% get your arc gear. Chat, remember that.
Is because you can use dragon gear, but you have to be flat refined, and dragon gear has a very, very low refine for flat points.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're only talking a couple hundred points. Academia, you get 1,200 or something like that. Then you go to Civilization, where you can get into 2,000, almost 3,000.
Yeah, that's a huge jump. When I looked at your generals, I did the same thing. I scout the generals. I look at the hives. I look at the kill. We know who kind of, once they show up in the battlefield, the hair on the back of your neck starts to stand up. But there was, very impressed. A lot of you have full sets, on multiple generals of civilian gear. And
We do have a lot of civ gear in the server.
It may have been Jay's, looking at Marshall, and, someone had 29.4, 30%,
Oh, yeah, my refines.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, that's someone who sat there with piles of gold and just hit refine. And so we're not even
gems.
Yeah. It's
gems.
That's what it takes to, that's hard work, to do that. And
every single little percent is going to add a lot.
That,
it's going to separate you from the average players. Every little percent.
A smaller group that are excited.
But keep that in mind.
Want to be a bigger part.
Do what you can to get those refines.
And then there's that group of the 100 mil to 500 mil, I call them. That they've got to know what they want to. What's the goal? What kind of goal? What kind of defense should they build? And then get a good defense so you can take a hit, and then build your attacker, right? You can eventually in a couple months build a range guy or something, or a gal.
So Hype, here's what I would tell your people as they're coming up. Here's the progress I made. I parked at K30 for 3 months. I built a K30 keep with 330 million power. And what I did was I focused on my defense general. I got a William Marshall, and I said, this guy covers all 4 types. And so we're going to use him. And then and this was before assistance came out. So Marshall was my main guy. And
I got to leave it at that for now because I don't want to spend
numbers the most. And I never send more than just a few siege in a rally. So my siege are always home for fighting. I think siege are the best defensive stand you can have, and your ground is the next best. And I say those things because most people send Archer gens and Archer marches in to clear calves because most people have a lot of calves to kill monsters. So having a strong ground defense and ground siege defense is what I keyed in on. Now, K30 is awesome because you can have Dragon, and at 30 you can make Ares gear if you have the badges. You can't make full sets of Ares gear, but Ares gear has good refines, like close to Akamende gear. And so if you want to build a T1 sponge at those levels, what I would tell my people is get a full set of gear on your wall gen, and for your refines, do because each set does HP. One set does HP, one piece does defense, one piece does attack, and you get two total. So 2 pieces of attack, 2 pieces of HP, 2 pieces of defense. Make 1 piece percentage for your higher end troops, and 1 piece flats for your lower end troops. And especially if you're doing like for Mr. Yours, he's got all those mounts. His mount ones should be especially flat across the board. Like both his defense, both his HP, and both his attack should be flats. Whereas like my defense is higher percentages because I'm mainly a T14, T13, T12 team. Now, if I start building my T1s as a sponge, then I will do the approach I just said. One of my defenses will be flats, and one of my defenses will be percents. Same for the attack and same for the HPs. So really, what you got to do is park at K30. I always tell all my guys in DOS, park at K30 for a couple months. Get yourself to 300-400 million power. Get your defense set how you want it, and concentrate on one type of general to build.
When you put full attention to one thing, you can make a lot of progress on it.
And it's usually, someone's doing range primary and ground secondary, or or ground primary and range secondary, because we all have a lot of mounts that we just use for killing monsters. So I don't really use mounts when I march PvP very much. I mean, it's really got to be an extreme situation. My mounts are mainly for killing monsters. So get your defense general, get your assistant general, get your guys in gear. And we talked about the assistants not needing gear earlier, so that'll save some people some work. And then figure out your PvP identity like we were talking about. But park at T30s, you got T12s, park there for
what do you guys do
once you're comfortable
to grow? Like when your server was new, what did you guys do?
In Battlefield and everything else. Take some hits. Don't be afraid to take hits in Battlefield. You don't have to heal. Battlefield's a great place for people to learn how to use their key. And then once you're good at 30, move up to 33. It's the next logical choice. You can make Akamende gear, you can make Civ gear, all that other stuff. And park there, make T13s. I always recommend 100,000 of T1 through T9, 250 of T10, 500 of T11, a million T12, 2 million T13, and then T14 shoot for the moon. And if you're making T15s, God bless you. I wish I was as rich as you. Yeah, really just stay at a keep level where you're making higher level troops, T12 at a minimum, and sit there until your numbers are where you want them, until you can take some hits and dole out some hits, and then worry about moving up to T33. Invest your resources in stuff that you won't lose power. Like get all your buildings to K30 while you're there before you move up. That's what was always my goal. Once I knew my stuff was good, I made sure all my buildings were K30, including RSS spots, before I even thought about pushing that button for K31. And then once I hit 33, everything had to be 33 before I even thought about going to K35. And so you don't lose the power that you invest, from those buildings. And research is the most important thing.
Remember that. Research is insanely good. Insanely good.
Yeah, it's hard to hammer that home. It's, but you're so right. It's once you accept it, right? I think you get your head around it and understand why. Then players, realize, look, I'm going to spend those vital speeds and resources and research stones, which, as once you get to K33 and you start to get in that military advance.
Oh yeah,
No,
It gets
you know,
expensive real quick.
that surprised the heck out of me. I was like, you know, I was cranking out research. You know, I mean, again, I used my knowledge of the other game, and I knew I was taking some shortcuts to get up pretty quickly, but wasn't tracking the research stones at all until I hit a wall, and it was like, all right, I need 500
It comes
research
quick
stones. What
too.
the
I mean,
hell
you
are
get a
those?
lot
Where do I get
leveling up, but
those?
then it comes quick where they go
Yeah, yeah.
fast.
Like, oh no, oh
Yeah.
geez, you know,
And see, so
then it
what
became,
hammered
yeah,
what hammered research home for a lot of my guys who weren't doing the research was, you know, a lot of guys at first thought I was just being a braggart about my hits, but I started showing my buffs and my debuffs and stuff. And people were like, "How are you making those hits? How are you taking
yeah,
those hits? How are you doing these things?" I said, "My research, my tech power." "Oh, well, what's your tech power?" You know, and I would tell them my tech power, and they're like, "That's light years ahead of me." I'm like, "Exactly, and that's why I can make the hits and take the hits that I do."
yeah,
You
yeah,
have to do those things. If you want the sexy, you have to put in the work.
Stats
yeah,
are king in
yeah,
this game.
yeah.
They are.
Someone I saw a report, and someone had you know debuffs in like 0%, 18%, and I was like, you know, this is a fair 300-400 milk account, and I'm like, okay, did we leave the gear off the generals, or did we not realize, you know,
There's no
and
reason.
there's isolated incidents, right? We all have them, but it's the, you know, it's you got to have a plan. Got to have
Yeah,
a plan.
you
You
do.
got to seek knowledge, and you got to build to that plan, right? I try to use the framework like, you know, they're building high
It
rises
seems like
all
this guy
around,
really wants
right?
to
The
help his
country.
server and
You
like
don't see
make
him
it
build one side of it,
good.
you know,
Teach
up
his
40
players,
floors, and the
right?
others are, you know, at the 30 and 20
I
floor.
admire that.
You build them by floor, and so that's research, that's, you know, generals, that's, you know, troops, it's buildings. You know, you build a floor at a time, and set a goal where you want to get to, and each week crank away, you know, crank away. Um,
Right.
What are you
so I
guys
just
doing on
think
your
we,
server to prepare for that? You know, to like progress as one in a sense.
you know, there's a lot of talk and a dialogue about it. I think, and in some cases, there's some really good leaders, and there's some, you know, there's some players that I wish were here with us that have a lot more experience playing this particular game than I do, and we're actually very instrumental to kind of me not going in the wrong direction early on. I mean, I think within 2 weeks I got zeroed, and you know that's always humbling the first time, you know. So, but
Yes.
you know, I said I reached out and I said, you know, okay, give me some feedback here. What am I, you know, this is what I'm thinking, and that's where it begins. You know, you're willing to receive feedback. Um, you know,
What's up, Mr. J,
it's
baby?
settling
What's
in.
up, my
I
man?
think we're at that. I think we're at that critical point as a server that servers either break apart and kind of go solo, or they really come together. Um, our last SVS we won, we took their throne, we came from behind. That was a huge win. It was everybody, you know, in the last moments, you know, fighting and defending that could. This one was a little different. You know, we knew we had a big hill to climb. I wanted to make it. I wanted you guys to earn it. You know, I didn't want us
Congratulations, by the way, J, man.
to
Love it.
donate points
Love
early,
it.
and unfortunately, that's what happened. And then, you know, and at the minimum, I said, look, afterwards, let's learn from it, right? I always like connecting with some of the players from the other side and just, hey, can you give us some feedback, right? And I'm willing to do that. Many of my colleagues are as well, and so you know,
Yeah.
so
So like every SDS, you know,
I honestly like just
we
like
kind of do like a
I
small
enjoy
plan,
listening.
You know, we used to do like, hey, you know, this alliance is gonna protect this temple.
Joshua,
This
you,
alliance
thank you for the
is taking
subscription,
this
baby.
resource,
Thank you very
that's
much.
their job.
Welcome to the
So they're gonna be
community.
still, most of SDS until the throne, and
I gotta
you
add
know,
something
then
for you
you've
guys real
got
quick.
the other alliances that are, you know, taking temples and stuff. You know, me or I'm gonna say SLT and Gosh, you know, we've been pretty much tight since the beginning of server. We had a truce with each other. We didn't hit each other or anything. So anytime KE, I could drop bubble in front of them. None of them would ever touch me. And me, Jay, Perry, Gruel, we all talk a lot. We message back and forth on a good plan on what to do during SBS.
Yeah.
Because you can have a
That's
small
good.
plan before, like just a small set plan of what each alliance will do. But then, you got just like how you guys tried to do a plan and then, people didn't show up or, you wasn't really expecting the way we came at you. So you had to rethink your strategy. And, but, like,
Yeah. It caused us, by coming out the way you did, it put us clearly on the defensive, for.
We'll see if that works.
And
I
it's
added a
different
timer for
mindset.
chat.
If it was closer,
See if that
and
works.
point, maybe we could have stuck to the plan and, but playing from behind, you start to then make bad choices. And I'm certainly probably the head bad choice maker, on Saturday. But we talked about it earlier about making a decision. Look, let's not get everybody slaughtered. Let's save for another day once you guys cap your throne. And I think that was the right decision. And
I think that's the right decision too.
Folks advising that, and I like to get buy-in before we do anything. So we're excited. We have a really good group. We're young. I was told that we may have, like, our server and another server opened up at the same time, and so we don't have as many accounts because they were kind of split between two servers. I don't know if that's true.
Can't hear me in Discord.
It kind of feels like we're light accounts. That we could have used another one or two alliances.
Well, no, I have it muted right now. I'm using the push pedals that way I can talk to you guys over here while you guys are talking over here.
Here's the middle-sized alliance. Here's this one, and then where's everybody else?
I'm enjoying listening to you guys talk, man. I am.
At this point, it's hard to. Unless we don't get fed new accounts. I don't know how all that works, but we might be prone for a server merge at some point. Which will change a lot of things. So.
I meant to ask, are you guys any or Bubble to Burn? I don't remember talking about. I meant to ask, are you guys any or Bubble to Burn? Oh, Jay, you're getting feedback.
Too loud, so we're getting feedback from the app.
I think it's Jay. Is it Jay?
We make a decision kind of on a 2-week, basis. We typically go nap after SVS, and we had between the last two SVSs we were nap, but then we decided to do a KE. We wanted to kind of tighten up the ship a little, and we've just voted on.
That's good they do a vote system.
Nap, or we do like a 2-month nap, and so I kind of like that right now, where the leadership is voting. Every alliance gets a vote. There's pros and minuses of each, but
Bubble discipline
is we haven't had like anybody gang up on a big or a middle-sized account. If somebody's missing,
it's better. That's good.
Like during a KE, and the alliance calls it out.
Dude, I love your keep, bro. Look at that.
To respect that.
That is so nice.
They get in their game or something. But
all right.
To answer your question, I think right now we're going to go into a 2-month nap, focus on growth. I think a lot of the things that you guys have shared here tonight, and
no worries.
What Panda has shared, collectively from you all to us through the King's Mail, has been helpful. Some have really enjoyed that, and I've gotten good feedback. And there's occasional players, as I know.
He likes to talk. I enjoy that.
We all have them. So
as soon as people think they know everything about the game's gonna nip them right in the balls.
Yep. Yeah.
That is true.
And
Bitten facts.
The game evolves, right? At some point, the T1 wall will get nerfed, and something else. Somebody will discover something else, which is neat. That's the fun part. Is what can you uncover and what works, and then be the best account that you can be. Don't try to be another account, right? I always kind of say that, fight in your weight class, or whatever, and be the best account you can be, and then learn
My cousin's got the good info. He's got the deep down info, baby.
In your weight class, right? And I think we're really in a good position to get some T1 trap accounts, as like Mr. Yours did there, right? I realize I can't zero Mr. J with a rally. I can't, I can maybe hit this one and take some points, but then I see maybe, in frustration or whatever, when you just look at the numbers, I think it's a natural tendency. Let's hit the 33 of the 34, right? We don't care. We're not going to scout. We won't read the scout report.
Realize refuses on it. My team refuses all my tips and tricks.
Points, right? That's a good team win. And I'm sure you've seen that a few times. And that's when you fight in little groups like that, or big groups, as you did.
Good shit,
That's
man.
the benefit of having different kinds of accounts. I think
diamonds go
have
quick.
Players do that.
Quick.
So I'm hopeful. So
good, man. Well, keep up that good work, dude. And we're always around. If you got questions and you want to hit us up, you got us on the friends list.
100%.
Go feel free to ask questions anytime.
Yeah, absolutely. I was trying to think that if I knew you were live streaming this, to say, okay, I definitely would have went for the throne. I would have,
I told you,
it would have been me and 20 generals, but I would have gone for it. So died gloriously. So
yours was, I really want to go send a link to have them watch this. I was like, don't do it because they're gonna want to go hard because they're gonna be on YouTube, and
Thanks.
I was like, yeah.
We're on what? But I was complimenting Mr. Yours. He's got a great setup. I said, he almost needs a color man, right? It's one you're fighting, right? It's a compliment to you. You're trying to fight. We've got a couple of accounts up. You're running a podcast. You're talking on Discord with your colleagues. Being a part of different attacks. That's more than the rest of us are doing, right? And you did it pretty fabulously, I thought.
No, I appreciate that, man. But honestly, a lot of it goes to Panda and his preparations. I mean, we kind of had a game plan, and it went almost to the T. It was smooth, and it just made it easier.
Clear. Yeah. Because you're showing this after, I would say, because we can't see what's happening on Discord or what you're listening to. I think you were talking to the audience, the target audience. You were sharing some of what was happening, but then we're watching, right? So, but it's almost like it needs a color man, right? If you watch football or hockey, right? There's the play-by-play guy and there's the color guy. And the color guy goes, yeah, well, Hyperion, he's prone to making bad, mistakes, around the third time he hits the throw, and he's going to come at you with siege or something,
For sure. For sure. I mean, that was the first SVS throne take we've streamed, and I personally want to get more people in Discord while we're doing some SVS, just because, I mean, for one, it's better for everybody that's doing SVS, helping each other out. For two, it makes great content, I think.
Yeah, it does. And I like the fact that you all review the big reports, pull them out there. I mean, it's not meant to embarrass anybody. You're meant to learn from them.
Right, exactly.
And that's a good server-wide thing. I hope we implement. And we're learning that from you. And let's pull these apart, right? And figure out where we can be better on this account or this account, because there's no one person that's going to win at SVS, and there's a lot of us that can lose it. But we want to get better. We got great people. I wouldn't play any place else. I've got one or two scouts on my team. Typically I fight under HS1, and we get a couple people come over and join us. But a big shout out to our team there and the folks that join us when we fight. That they have an uncanny ability to find targets, and I couldn't find many, if any, except when you came over to our server we couldn't find anything. And
What's up,
these are the
Pac-Man? How you
best
doing? Thank you for
scouts I've
stopping
ever
in. We do well
seen.
today.
So it's a credit to you all.
You just like
discipline
watching people hit
back
Mr.
on,
Yours? I love it.
on your home turf there about not, bubbles not, coming open, or, people wandering off to, hit a relic because nobody's around. But yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for inviting me. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely for sure.
All. Hopefully we'll match up again in a year when we're bigger.
I hope so. I do.
It'll be fun. So
Yeah.
Sure, man.
all right. Stay safe. Have a great holiday. If I don't hear from you.
All right, you too, man.
Take care, man. Thank you.
Right,
Thank you for.
take care, man. Yeah, thank you. Thanks. Cheers.
Cheers, brother. How's everyone doing? Everyone's doing all right. Doing all right. And I gotta say though, I mean, our preparation, we do a good job with that, and I think that's definitely something we continue to do pretty good on.
For sure. Yeah. Oh, they were fun, man. That was a good time. He's a good dude. I like that.
Yeah, no, that's great. That was a good interview. Good talking to him.
Pretty good. For a little bit, I
All right,
talked with him and Whisper. He's pretty nice.
What's that?
So it looks like we lost it. Oh,
For some reason, you were kind of muffled there.
Yeah.
I think maybe because it was I think he just cut off at the same time.
Like Guns and Glory, but I love the
I mean,
content. Guns and Glory, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Hyperion, he's good, nice guy. I mean, I chatted with him a little bit. After we took drone, I chatted with him here and there, and asked him, things that he would recommend to his server.
Affording the game. Facts.
And I was kind of throwing them info, once a day, give him some info to help them grow better and stuff. And I did make an account on their server.
Oh, no kidding.
So I could figure out, just so I could figure out, who give titles to, and just kind of see how they run, and they all seem nice. They all, when they're in chat and world chat, they're all talking and stuff, and there doesn't seem any hate towards anybody, and they kind of don't like me, and they like me at the same time.
Love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
So, I gotta ask you guys a question, especially Panda and Jay together.
What's up?
After that SVS, obviously we did pretty well, especially as a whole server, but is there any key points throughout that SVS that you think we could all improve on, I should say, whether it's single-handedly or as a whole?
Oh, man. Let me think about that.
Ants on the ground. Never heard of that.
That was the best organization we've had for an SVS.
It was for sure. I mean, I'm still just curious, there's still room for improvement, but I mean, did we pick up anything that we know for a fact we need to improve on throughout all of that?
Me, like just think back a couple months ago when, because we wasn't always a great server like we are now. I mean, we're pretty divided, where we're pretty much, GOS was doing their thing, and SOT and Core, they're all doing their own thing, and we kind of all had some kind of tension between all of us. And then all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, hold on 1 second.
I'm gonna head out.
Okay.
See you tomorrow.
All right. Sorry, it was my boss. I'm still at work here. But like
fucking commitment right there. Commitment from Panda. I love it.
The stuff that we went through early on in the server, we lost a lot of players. And then everybody's kind of build from that again.
I'll definitely check it out for sure.
Again,
I want to play other games on YouTube Live as well.
And even though we still had tension, we would still join, like, let's say Cora will join God, to fight for throne. And then it was just like somewhere out of nowhere, we all kind of just went past that and was like, yo, if we're going to do better in SVS, we got to actually work together.
I'm working on it, bro. I'm working on the 1 billion, all right? I'm working on it.
I mean, you guys know, because, like, I'm like, yo, Jay's like 2 minutes out. Like, I'm messaging Jay. I'm messaging Ben. I'm messaging NBC. I'm talking with all these people, and I'm in chat, and I'm letting you guys know what's up. and we're all kind of working together. And me being like the SLT leader, and I'm doing all of that, so you guys can all focus on whenever I say something in chat, you guys can react, and you're not trying to do it yourself. But you know, Jay, he's strong. He's good. He held back a lot, waiting. He's letting people get wings. He comes in and does a few hits, gets some points. When we
Working
need
on it.
him,
Working
he's
on it.
there. Like, yo, we close to losing. Like, we 100 million points away. Like, Jay will like jump to the other server, hit somebody real quick, and then come back, and you know, and then he's going around clearing people that are being not smart and gathering or in relics and stuff like that. He'll go around and start killing those, so enemy servers not getting it. We won because of little things like that.
Oh, for sure, man. And I was so like, I went into this SVS as like, all right, I can take hits from them, so I can get some good points there. Said, all right, maybe I'll have a chance at first this week. And like a half hour into SVS is like, oh, this is possible. Then about an hour in, after Jay was pretty active, I said, no, that's not gonna happen.
Oh, Jay went hard. He sent me a report. And I was like, whoa. I was like, that's a major hit.
I wasn't. I was not planning on that. Somebody dropped the K35 in my chat and was like, "Yo, you should try to hit him." And I looked, and he was like 1.6 or 1.7. And so they had a scout on him, and he was sitting still with no bubbles. So I knew I was going to send my Archer March, and my Archer March is not where I want it to be yet. But I knew I had to send it because he had a lot of mounts. So I cleared out his T14 mounts. And when he saw attack, 1 or defense 1, he stayed confident and kept his shield down. What he didn't realize is Elise was right behind Simeon. So as soon as Elise hit, it was the sledgehammer attack 1, and that put me at like 1.3 billion points in like the first hour. And I said, okay, I guess I'm playing hard this weekend. You know what I mean? And I just kind of went for it.
Yeah, that's why I was like, yo, Jay, I was like, go for first place. Like, go for first place.
Yeah. But I won't be doing that again until it's the top 10, because I'd really like to get the red top keep like what you got.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Like yeah, go for it.
I want people to. I want as many people as possible to get those blue wings. And what I really think we should do on the server is when we go into an SVS, if it's going to be an SVS where we need to fight, the big guys step up. But if it's an SVS where we think we can, do minimal for the big guys and let the little players get their wings, I really think the big guys should hold back unless we start to lose. In which case, then we go in and start to go for it. But guys like, Edels and who's some other people? There's a few people like Edels and there's a Zafar from GOS and a couple from 10. These guys, you guys got a couple over in SLT still who, like Queen Bitchy. Those are people I want to see with their wings on. Nikki, I want to see
Queen Bitchy come back. Nikki, yes. The problem with Nikki, and I don't. So she's in South Africa, and she has, I don't know what it is, but it's something with their power grid. And I want to say it was like the start of SVS is where her power grid, they had this thing where they shut the power down to save, and so because like they just can't keep up with their power in South Africa. So they have these cam things, and so what happens when it does that is he loses power. Like, I mean, there's no Wi-Fi or anything like that, so everything just kind of starts shutting down, and she starts losing connection from cell service and stuff like that. So she has to get off, and so every time she's been trying, and like we set her up, like I've worked with her a lot on getting her keep set up. I was like, you like now you have to build defense because now you can't ghost. So he worked K33. He's got the 4s. He started making gear, and I told her, I was like, we'll rain you. We don't care. Like, We want you to get your wings. We want you to go play. We need you to do smart hits. But she gets work. She works. She has, those weird power outages and stuff. And so she kind of gets messed over by real life in order to do that. But we've been trying to get her to do it for a while, and every time she tries, and she's a little frustrated about it. And hopefully soon we could get it.
Do you guys think this would be a topic that could be, talked about across world chat? Implementing like a review on the enemy server, and then each alliance is picking players, saying these will be the people this week that need to go for wings or might try for wings. That way, the bigger guys know to step down, kind of.
I think that's an R5 decision, but I would support it. It's one of those things where they would have to come with a stipulation of, hey, look, we always want to try and win SVS, but let's try and focus on getting people their wings, because they'll get their wings regardless if we win or lose. And if we start to take a beating, then let the big guys step in and start making some kills.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with that, and that's why I was talking with NBC and Min and stuff, and because they got a lot of players that are active in SBS, and some of them don't have wings yet. I know Schema Manny tries, and every SBS she's out doing hits and stuff. She got her keep, and I try to send her hits.
Wings
too,
need to be very important, and you guys can't be greedy with them on your server.
That want wings, so feed the hits for them.
Push for them, encourage other people to get them, help them get them. It all comes back to help out your entire server.
I was like, yo, I want first place in SBS. I want that keep. Then we lost SBS, and I had to do it all over again. And
right.
And it was like one where it was a top 10. You're kind of like, yo, I'm a hold back and stuff like that. I was like, yo, I get it. I was like,
I have to train some
troops. Get their wings,
I have
top
to.
10. But I also want to hit my top one. That's my personal goal. I'm playing, and I mean, core, everybody that helped. I think you even did a couple of hits on Throne. You didn't pass anybody up in the top 10. You stayed below that. But me, it was my personal goal, and I had to do it. I spent a lot of money, and then after that, I was like, everybody. I'm trying to help everybody. The other SVS. We got 2 SOT members, top 5. When I wanted to go take the throne, and you're like, it's holiday. I was like, and the big players need rest too. They can't always just be fighting. And
right.
So like, even though the whole team was down, Core was okay with what I was wanting to do. You guys were like, whatever you guys want to do, say do a truce, because it's a holiday and not many players will be around. And I thought about it. I was like, this isn't just about me, even though it's a personal goal of mine to take the throne. I want the reward. Let's give everybody a break. Let's let the little players fight, and we'll help them all SVS, get wings and stuff. And the other server did the same thing. They had some pretty big keeps, and the Life Alert and Lily was on the other side for hours, and there was only like one big keep that even tried to do anything.
Right.
So
one thing I would suggest this next SVS, I would suggest, since it's on Christmas weekend, is we should talk to the other server and maybe agree for full throne truces, temple truces, or no, not temple truces.
No temples. At least a throne.
And then an agreement of, the big guys, the big players with blue wings, sit out.
We'll just I think that's a good idea. I mean, I'd support.
As a Christmas thing, let people have a break because they want to have a break. And if the little guys want to go and fight, I shouldn't say little guys. If the normal size players want to go in and fight the people who aren't super coined up or super huge or whatever, if they want to go and fight on Christmas holiday, they can. And the rest of us just bubble. I really think we should. It gives them a chance to do it. It gives us a little break. And if you don't want to fight, you're not ruining your Christmas holiday. Because frankly, I'm not trying to do too much over Christmas. You know what I mean? I got some family coming into town,
No,
so
I
you
mean
won't
I
see
don't
much
blame
out of
you.
me.
You know, like me, I'm totally fine. Like I hate dropping bubble, dude. I'm big. I don't have a whole lot of source of life left. I used all that up when I
Right.
went for place, you know. Um,
Yep.
That shit
and
gets expensive.
you know, if I get hit by a K-38, I'm gonna feel it. You know, 400 mil power loss. That's a lot of source of life there.
Yes, it is.
I'd rather stay bubbled and let the little. I'm gonna say little players because we're all bigger, and
Yeah.
you know, at this point, you know, you got all the 300, 400 mil players that don't have wings yet. Um, so I would like to see them get wings, and it's also nice to see them have a chance and like see them fight and get the experience and get the scaredness out of them. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, because it's very scary to go in and fight.
Oh, it
yeah,
is for
especially
sure.
when you got like, you're a K-32 or a K-33, and you got this K-38 that's 4 bill power, and you know he's gonna zero you in one hit because you made one mess up. And you know when you got someone your size where you might have been able to defend it, you know. But yeah, I mean, like I
Yes.
told, so like QB of WTF, you know, she sent me this hit. You know, I talk with her, I work with her a lot. You know, I help her. I've been working with her for months, same as I did with PT6, but PT6 is a different way. Because she came to me wanting to learn how to do Battlefield for her team.
Hmm.
So I
Battlefield,
brought her
you
into
learn
SLT for like 2 weeks. We ran
definitely
Battlefield with
practice on
her,
Battlefield
showed
if
her
you
how
guys
like
can.
the process and stuff, and then you know I work with her. Then one week I went over there and I did Battlefield with her and her team, and she's
Right.
pretty good.
Oh, no,
And
QB's pretty good, man. I've seen her scores.
um,
Uh, yeah, I haven't used Discord in so long.
so
Here we go.
after like I
I'm
want to say
forgetting how to
like
assign
after
roles and
Throne
stuff. It's been a
or
while.
right during Throne, she sends me this report, and you know it was like shortly after I just helped her with her setup a little bit, and she had a good hit. And I was like, that's great. I was like, that's a great hit. I was like, yeah, good layers. I was like, you came out minimal wounded for your size.
Got him.
And I was like, you just need to do that like 12 more times. And I didn't know she was going to go for wings. Like, you know, I went to sleep after Throne. I pretty much slept all SBS. I wake up and she's sixth place, just shy of taking fifth. You know,
Damn,
and like
dude.
Snow, you know, Snow was 1 billion points. She was 849 million. So like if she didn't start late, she could have had it.
Right.
You know, but also if us bigger players, you know, didn't go play on the other side and all that stuff, she could have had it.
How do you guys think our new rankings is going to affect our next SVS?
It'll probably be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, so I did check. No, we're 848. We still got a couple 1,000 servers in there. I want to say we got a couple low 900s in there also. I think there's even lower than that. I want to say I've seen a pretty lower one within our ranking. So I want to say we're going to have a pretty difficult SVS, but being a holiday like Jay said, it could go either way.
Yeah. I would definitely be interested to see if they'd be into that. You know, like a full-on throne truce, and then if you got your blue wings, enjoy the holiday, bubble up, and just let people with not wings fight. See if we can get them to agree to that type of thing.
Yeah, and I
It shouldn't
mean,
be
not
that
only
hard.
we gotta get them to agree, we gotta get our server too.
Yeah, that's the problem, getting our server to do it. Also, I want to float one thing past you guys. I like Min, all right, but I kind of feel it's a little unfair that Min's running Snow and Min and taking up 2 spots in the tops. Yeah, the points are good, but I feel like someone needs to kind of like suggest maybe Min only use one.
I talk with, you know, I talk with Moon here and there throughout the week. Um, so there's no spending on Snow. There's no spending
Okay.
on Snow. When he goes out and uses Snow, he does minimal.
Like when he helped me do first place and he lost 300 mil power, he didn't even want to bring snow back out, but he knew I wanted it. He he was like, all right, I'll bring him out one more time, and that was one of the reasons why I did drone cruise. Is I was low on social life. I know Ash and Dread and all of them, they're not really spending, because they already spent early in the game, so they don't want to spend right now. You were still building up, and I know you were wanting to let the other players. So that's when I was like, all right, let's just leave this SVS and let the little players fight. But snow, Min uses snow, and he uses it to get the gems and stuff like that, and get the rewards, so he can continue to use it to fight when it's needed.
Okay.
And it's not like he's trying to like be greedy and wants to be up there. It's because he doesn't spend. And like if the snow was here, regardless, snow would be up there.
Snow would be up in first, second place every time.
Yes, and so he's not doing it to be greedy or anything. He's trying to do it so. Hold on a second. Okay. All right.
This dude's a champ, man. Still at work, still in the call. I love it.
Still doing his thing.
Yeah. My boss don't care, man. But yeah.
All right. I just didn't know how you guys felt about it.
Yeah, he's not doing it to be greedy, and I talk with him, and I tell him, I was like, let's give Snow a break, make some points, get your max points. Let's try to let others get up there. And if you did look at not this SVS but last SVS,
he did hold back. Yeah, he did.
He did. Yeah, he pretty much got his 540 million points, and he just left it.
Honestly, I could just sit here and listen. It's like a podcast. It's like you guys are watching me listen to a podcast.
He knew
I like it.
Smaller players were fighting. I was like, let's let the smaller players fight. And he wanted some of his players, but they didn't make it because that was kind of a super slow, boring SBS. And if you didn't stay on the other side, you
SBS too.
And but yeah, so he's not doing it to be a dick or anything about it. So.
Because I like Min, so I don't want to, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things. But cool. Yeah. All right, good. I'm glad to know he's being reasonable about it.
So what do we do next to get the ball rolling on this? I mean, how do you guys want to initiate that?
I think you got to have an R5 meeting.
Yeah, we'd have to do an R5 meeting. So SLT will have Throne on Saturday. It'll be Diesel's first one. And we'll have Diesel. So I'll pretty much have to handle everything, but he's going to have to send the mails out. But I can send a mail out, see what everybody says. Because honestly, like you, I mean, like you said, you spent 10K source of life, and you didn't even fill your hospital. Me, I used to T1 fill my hospital, and I used 20K source of life when I went first place a couple SVSs ago.
I can't get over that, man.
Dude, yeah, I mean, I took 12 defense hits from K37s and up as a fresh K36.
Yeah, those make you pay the price.
Yeah, and then we rallied drone 12 times. But
it's a painful SVS.
Yeah, and
I gotta stem back to the question I asked a little while ago. No one really had a direct answer. I mean, you guys think we did everything proper for this SVS, or can you guys not?
I think this SVS was pretty good, man. I think we really handled it this time. I really can't think of anything that went poorly. I really can't. We defended our temples well. Players who could scout scouted. Players who could take hits, did hits. We took the temples, like we should. We split up the times. No, there was no arguments or disagreements about how to do things. Through it smoothly. We all worked together for it. I really think it went well. I think if we copy that blueprint, we're going to continue to be successful.
I like to hear that. Now, leading off of that it's hard to say, but is there anything that we could do as a server to reward ourselves minus just the victory of what we had? I mean, in between the times of SVS's weekend like that, is there anything that we could do, reward even just like even maybe the smaller players? You guys think of anything to do that?
When I was king, I tried to give out smaller players some titles. That's what I was always trying to do. There's not much else that I can think of that we can really do, because you can't, you could have, the only thing you can really do to reward smaller players is you have to get the bigger guys to agree to lay back on things like subordinate city clues. If you're spending a bunch of money, save your clues or don't use them. Or like what we do now, what we're going to start doing in GOS, as me and, like, for instance, me and Perry, as we get our sub-city goals completed, if we have clues, we're going to ask people, all right, like, I'll just use Zafar, for instance. Zafar, what sub-city do you want? I put my clues in it, and he puts his clues in it. And if I win it, I give him the sub-city. That's how I reward Zafar for fighting. You know what I mean? That's kind of what we do. But I don't know how
that's nice. I mean, that's nice.
I really like that.
Yeah.
Like us, everybody. So, what is it? We usually ask who's going for what, sub-city. Me, I just throw them in there because I'm like, I'm not going to win anyways. I got to have 80% and I'm going to still lose to 2%. So I don't even care. But in SLT, they ask, like, who's bidding on what one so they could try not to bid. They didn't do it just
to every player out there. I mean, you really got to have server camaraderie.
Yeah.
Really do have to come together.
It makes like 4 people bidding on
everyone's life so much better.
But,
yeah.
Me, I'm not too big on, I need this, like, I gotta have all Russias, or I gotta have, like, like, I'm mixed. I got, like, this balance of sub-cities. I don't care. Blue, I've had blue since the beginning of the server. I don't feel it's really affected me as much, like, because I don't have, like, all Japans or all Russias, Like, I have Koreas, China's, Arabia's, and stuff. So
it is good to have a mix, and it does
like
help you in different fields while growing.
I try to pick someone that I know that's, like, really trying in PvP, and they don't have, like, they feel they don't have a good sub-city. Like, so if I got a Japan, I'm gonna give it to a PvP player. I'm not just gonna give it to a random member of the team, because I want them to do good, and that's what everybody's tied. Japan. You want to hit, you want Japan. You want defense, you want Russia.
Man, I love those rushes.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I was gonna say yours loves them rushes, man. He's the old the Ruskakov.
He has like 7 or 8 of them.
Probably.
Oh yeah, Jay just gave me a blue one.
I gave you that blue one when I won that Girl Japan. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Vicky did take her blue Japan, so you know.
She did.
Yep.
All right, good. I appreciate you giving that to her. No, but as far as like rewarding the server out, man, I really don't know how else you could do it outside of titles and the award packages. Rather than give it to the big guys, you give, if somebody fights in the throne for you. Say SLT was defending the throne. I've always seen it where the king from SLT always sends out the guys in GOS. I can vouch for, if we helped you guys out, you always hit us with the senior award packages. That's fair for that, but I always take the juniors and the mediums and just send them out to small players. I
did that this one. I did that one, and I felt bad because I didn't know, and I was trying to send rewards to the other server, but you can't do that as a conqueror.
Oh,
so
no kidding.
So I thought the rewards were for our server. Like I had extra rewards, Min had rewards, everybody got rewards, extras, So I'm out handing all the stuff out, and I ended up giving all the rewards, that Min was supposed to hand out. I ended up giving them out there, everybody I know that helps out in SDS. Like, okay. And then I was like, oh crap, man. I was like, I didn't know that, I didn't know. Because I never conquered anything. I didn't know how it goes,
So it shared rewards?
I messaged Ben and told him what I did, and I was like, "Oh, my bad. I didn't know how you were gonna do it or not, or whatever." But I handed them all out already, and but a couple SVSs ago, DRN Dance, he's always out scouting, throwing reports. He's doing small. That guy is amazing. He's always there doing stuff. And
Danes, if you ever see this video, shout out to you, baby.
When do we get thrown and stuff? And I was like, throwing is for players with SVS wings. And I was like, you get your SVS wings. I was like, King really does nothing for you unless you have SVS. I had King wings because we didn't have SVS yet. We had a normal top 5 rotation or whatever at the time. But I feel bad for the smaller players that don't get to have thrown yet. Because I'm gonna say yet, because there's a chance they could get a little bit bigger. Dan, he does little hits here and there, and eventually he'll get big enough and more confident, and he'll do hits, and he'll hit top 5 or top 10, no problem. I know he will. But he was like, "What do we get for all the help that we do?" I was like, that's where the titles come in. I was like, we can't really offer you a whole lot because there's really nothing else to give.
It's true.
Titles and rewards, and I was like, we say thank you every single time. I was like, we appreciate your guys' help. I was like, we don't take it lightly because, like, let's say you or me or yours, even though we got great defense, we drop bubble to scout, they slam us. We lose power. We waste resources just for a scout. Dan's over there. He's dropping bubble. He's, doing scouts, throwing them in the report. They're finding targets on everybody. I mean, they're doing great. All these small players that help out, they're doing great. It means a lot. And if I don't have to drop bubble and waste losing points for the server, I'm happy for it. Like, I'll give them teleports, I'll give them gems, whatever they want. I mean, resources. If they ask for it, I'll give it.
Sure.
But what we can really do for them, like, we can't offer them much but titles and rewards from the throne.
Yeah. Right. Something we could try and figure out, something, I suppose. But for now, that's kind of where we're at with it. But those dudes do need recognition, and yeah, it's easy for them to ghost and not take you and give up negative points. Opposite of us, we can't really do that. That's why it's helpful. But it would be good for us to figure out a way to somehow recognize these guys. And honestly,
I would say show more recognition to them than what we, try to figure a way to do more for them.
Well, and one of the things that we could do is once, sooner or later, if people don't keep making top 5 and getting new blue wings, sooner or later we're going to run out of people for the rotation. So I think at that point we should have.
I think. So I know where you're going with that, and we already had that from one. Remember when, Core took drone and we had all this problem, blah blah blah, and Snow was like, what about all the other small alliances and stuff that, if there's no other player with blue wings, what do we do? And like, we all came to the scream.
That is a very good point.
Because, all this was a big deal. And so it goes to the smaller alliances. They get to have their shot at, throne. So if we run out of blue wings, it goes to the smaller alliances that don't normally have throne rotations.
I like that. Good. That's what I like.
That is definitely a good idea, but how do you justify who gets the throne itself? I mean, R5, or should there be some kind of limitations? Who registers for it?
Anybody. I mean, we pick an alliance, and they pick whoever they want to have throne.
Yeah. So, like, for instance, you talked about Dan's. He would be a prime candidate for, give DRN the throne, help them fight for it during SBS, or give it to him, in the Peace Week. And Dan's is the designated person, that's going to take the throne. That's his reward for all the work he's done.
Yeah, I mean, he does great, and I mean, honestly, he deserves it. And I really wish, like, he didn't have to wait a week. Like, you know, like
Right.
waiting a whole week sucks. And I mean, right now we got what is it like 5 or 6 alliances in rotation, you know,
Right.
and that's for you know, so that's gonna be like 10 weeks of waiting to finish up, you know, 2 alliances to where it drops down to like 4.
So how would you guys come across like choosing that person? Just by the performance during SVS, or would it be like outside of SVS, and would it also be by an R5 meeting?
I think you'd have to designate it R5 and go by performance in SVS.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say we would vote. You know, Dan, he's legit. Before he even joined
Barb events, yeah.
he was, I think, in his own alliance or something like that before.
That's definitely a good idea. Just make
really
sure they can collect the max amount of points from it too.
Didn't even have Alliance City, and I seen him out scouting drone and throwing up reports and stuff, and you know.
But that is definitely one good way to help them
I
with
remember
barbs.
early on, I think
Help
he
them
was
find
like, I
pyramids.
got any more bubbles, or I got, you know, and I sent him some stuff, you know, and like I had him as a friend, and you know, I'll mess with him. I was like, yo, can you, you know, do this, you know, can you go scout this for me? And because, you know, like I said, any chance I don't have to unbubble and risk getting hit, I'm gonna do it. You know, Dan, he's low, he can ghost. You know, I'm happy to send him whatever he wants.
Hey,
Yeah.
so Panda, Digital Underground Gaming in the chat just said a good way to help smaller players also with little things like Barb's events. So like sometimes players on our server are smaller alliance or too weak to hit Barbs. They hit them and open them so they can get the occupation points and get the scores so that they can get all those rewards from the chest. That's a great idea, helping people with Barbs rather than us trying to, you know, always trying to take first place in Barbs. Let these guys, you know, get some points in Barbs, get those chests open, get all those awards.
Yeah, I mean that's a good way. And actually, I've opened up. I opened up a couple for JPN Alliance. You know,
Yep.
I seen them doing Barbs one day, and I was like, yeah, I just opened them up. They were close by, and I sent them to them, messaging them, you know, like thanks, and you know, and I wouldn't mind doing that because honestly, I don't do Barbs to place.
Yeah, I rarely do them. I do them just for the award chest. That's all I do them for.
Yeah, that's about 200k gems, right? 179 or 1.
Yeah, it's up there. It's a good amount of gems. It's enough gems to help somebody refine some equipment. I tell you that right now.
Yeah,
Oh, big time.
And, so how I like, so if you go back, I don't really do Barb variants. Usually I just hit them, get the resources, and I leave them. And if I see somebody close doing them, I'll, you know, I'm like, yo, take this. And but what I'm doing when I hit Barbs is I'm just taking the resources and I'm checking my my presets for, you know, what should I improve on. Because if you hit a dead keep, you can't tell what you're improving on. You know,
It's true.
You can
gain a lot.
But you hit a Barb, you'll know what's up. Like you'll.
Yeah,
I mean,
They're not afraid to fight back.
yeah, like you know, I'm like, oh, I forgot to put my buffs on. I forgot to change my highlights.
Yep.
I think that's definitely a good way to help people grow too, for sure. I mean,
I don't really care to do them. Same thing with pyramid events. So a lot of events, like even the Monarch competitions, I try not to do much and place high. I just somehow don't know how I place high in Monarch events because I barely do anything. Like I promise, dude. Like I got first place. I don't even know how I did it because I was like 80th place in like monster event and like building thing. Like I did like 2 farms in my city, and like I don't know how I placed first place.
You're an animal, man. That's why.
Like I feel like it's rigged. I don't get it. But I don't like to do all those events and place high because I know there's a lot of free to play players on their server. And I watch them, I see them out, I see them grinding. I mean, they're doing their thing, they're trying to grow, they're trying to, you know, they can't spend money. And so those rewards are very helpful to them for growth. So I try not to do them at all. Like to me, like I'll spend a little bit of money here and there. And it's just to me, like that's my like one way of being like, yo, you're doing your thing, you're trying to grow. I respect it. I want you to grow. You know, place higher than me, but somehow, sometimes.
Yeah, I definitely need to chill on the pyramid event. I need to let someone else do it for one.
They just made it harder for you.
They did.
They
So
did?
now everybody can go for level 5. You know, you can find, you can go do a bunch of level 1s or something. I honestly
Yeah, now you can only do 20 a day now.
Only 20 a day? Oh, God.
That puzzle that you were just doing, you gotta do that in a specific order.
You're watching? God damn it.
but you know, like, you know, like, there's so many servers. Like, so I've been on 2 other servers since I started this server. This is my first server. I was on 105. Cause I messed
Teach
up
you
my
small
farm
spenders
account
how
right
to
now.
spend.
I was being stupid. Wasn't
That
paying
is
attention.
true.
I was up,
That is
like,
true.
a whole day playing this
That is
game when I
true.
first started. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna make another account, and I made it too ranked up and forgot to bring it over in time. So I stayed on that for a while. And
hold up, Panda, hold up a second. All right, yours. Drop the chest first. Then move,
We got it. We got it. I got it.
There you go. Yeah, no, move the thing out. Move the thing out first. Move the thing out first. Yeah, move the slider out.
Dude, I embarrassed myself so bad. I got it. We're good.
Oh, did you get it? Okay.
We got it. I don't know how I did, but we did get it.
All right. Normally what I do is I move the slider out to the back, the left to the right-hand side of the one that rotates. I push the thing out so that my guy just chills there. And as soon as the fire turns off, I let it go and he goes down. All right, sorry about that, man. That just makes me crazy, dude. All right, sorry, Panda. Go ahead, man.
No, you
Double coupons are huge, yes.
You know, like Panda here, he's saying like teach them how to spend. Like if they spend, you know, how to spend, how to utilize your coupons and stuff. And that is one thing I do tell people in SLT. Like I don't expect anybody in my alliance to spend. I don't hold it against them. I spend a little bit myself. I've actually like went way down on spending since the few SVSs ago. Mm-hmm. But I tell them, I was like, don't just buy anything. Like
you can do it fast. Yeah, I know I can. All right, I'm under pressure. Okay, man.
You know,
I'm sweating, bro.
You got a little bit to spend. Don't just buy anything. Buy what benefits what you need.
No, that is so true, dude. Like you're spitting. You both are spitting just facts right now because I mean I didn't have any guidance when I first started playing, and clearly you know I spent when I first started playing, and I spent it all in the wrong way. I think I'd be bigger today if I was guided or coached the right way. Definitely got to utilize how you spend your money. Waste it very easily.
For sure. Yes, for sure. And this game is designed to separate you from your money.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Like I never thought I'd just start dropping thousands of dollars in a fucking video game. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do?
Welcome to Evony.
And I'm looking at it.
You want to laugh? You want to laugh?
Oh.
So that 6th anniversary contest that just ended, that I got that key pin, Genghis Khan, the other YouTuber that I watched.
Oh yeah, I watched that. Yeah, like,
dude,
don't even go it like
20, yeah. $25,000 in 2 weeks on Evony. Are you on crack?
Yeah, that's just insane. That's insane. Right, listen, boys, I gotta get going though. I just seen what time it is. I gotta get my ass up for work in the morning. So I appreciate you guys being in here. Thank you for taking the time to talk. And you know, I can't thank you for hanging out. I think we covered a lot of stuff and a lot of stuff we can go over next time too.
Hopefully, the chat was like, what's that?
Anytime you guys want to do one of these where we do like a subject and we just want to yap about it as much as we can, just let me know. I can jump in.
All right, man. I appreciate that.
This was fun. I think it's great. Yeah. Hopefully the chat liked it. I mean, we kind of left it out this time. I feel bad. I was trying to text a little bit, but we had a lot going on this one.
For sure.
Oh, for sure.
All right, boys. I'll catch you later.
Yeah, you gentlemen have a good night. I'll talk to you soon.
Feel better, Jay.
Thanks, man.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta say thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry I didn't talk as much in chat, but thank you again for hanging out. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys learned a little bit, and now you can kind of see what we do on our end. Shout out to 1155 in Hyperion. Great fight. Thank you for talking. Thank you for hanging out as well. But again, but yeah, dude, facts. People spend a lot of money. A lot. I mean, $5,000 into I imagine not on a video. $20. That's different. You good, Painter? Don't worry about it, man. You're good, brother. I think it was good for them to. What kind of we go over and talk about. Get out of here. Yeah, for now. Have a good night. Take care. Thank you guys for stopping in. See you guys tomorrow night.